Hi everyone, I wanted to share today about barefoot shoes or minimalist shoes and a little bit of my journey, what I've learned along the way, and then some of the shoes that I wear specifically for the green season. So I've been wearing barefoot minimal shoes for about 10 years now, and I was the type of person who just went cold turkey. I threw away all of my other shoes and then just bought shoes that were, considered minimal and barefoot, and then started my journey that way, pretty hot cold. But yeah, one of the first pairs of shoes that I bought were these Unshoes. So these are really great shoes. You can tell I destroy shoes. So I have, I've re-sewn this stitch here. I've also replaced the soles of this pair of shoes for about, I think, 4 times now. And yeah, I loved this pair of shoes. They're great. They were super practical for all different types of settings. And yeah, I really enjoyed them. Another pair from that same company, so Unshoes, that I got at the beginning of my journey were these sandals. So these sandals are custom. So you would order them, you draw your foot out, you poke the hole where it would land with your foot, and then you learn yourself how to stitch, and you can not stitch but wrap the cord around the ankle. So you get to really choose. This was the style I chose that I really liked. And yeah, it's super easy. This shoe, as you can tell, is super, super thin. I don't remember how many millimeters the sole is, but it was one of their thinnest versions. What I learned quickly is that I did not like this shoe. I was living in Ottawa at the time. I did not like this shoe for the city. It's so thin that walking on concrete or gravel is not very pleasant. But what I found out that I loved about this pair was for backpacking. So oftentimes we'll backpack with either our runners or our trekker shoes, whatever you want to wear. And these are so thin, so light, so easy to have as camp shoes. Some people don't like going into water without shoes, so they can be water shoes as well. Yeah, they're just really great. Obviously, so flexible, and they're so tiny and light. So once I developed that aversion to that shoe for a sandal for, more city or more day-to-day use, I ended up switching to Earthrunners. So this is now the sandal that I would probably only wear. It's really, really awesome. It has a copper pin at the bottom to help with grounding. And yeah, it just secures so well over the ankle and the foot. So one of the main issues with sandals is that, or when I say sandals, I mean flip-flops in particular. So people wear flip-flops and then they crunch their toes. So essentially your toes, your arch, your ankle, your calf, and then rippling up through the spine is all tensed up. So if you ask any chiro, acupuncture, massage therapist what happens in the spring when people go out of their winter boots and throw on flip-flops, they have a lot of foot, ankle, and especially calf tightness because they're essentially walking more because it's spring and then crunching their toes up, which then ripples the effect up through their body and creates so much tension. So you'll notice in both of these sandals how there's this securedness around the ankle in both versions. So the shoe stays super tight on the foot, so you don't have to worry about the shoe falling off, and essentially your entire foot is now free to move and not be tensed up. So yeah, these Earthrunner sandals are super, super awesome. Once it took me a little bit to get used to them, but most shoes are like that. And then what I loved about this sandal with a thicker sole, I think this is the 8 or 9 millimeter. I can't really remember. It's not their thickest sole, but you can trail run. You can do so many, just harder hikes with a shoe like this, even though it's a sandal. So I really love that, just to be able to walk or trek or run on different terrains. They're good in all different types of weather also. And then speaking of trails or lots of time outside, especially if you're doing different or longer distances, I now use Vivo. So in the past, especially when I hiked the PCT, I did hike that trail in Ultras, which are also an amazing minimalist barefoot shoe. But yeah, the sole's thicker. There's still a little bit of a heel rise in those shoes, but they're really good for long distance stuff because I think I went through 4 or 5 pairs of the same shoe for that whole trek. Now, if I were to hike, I would probably wear a Vivo. Not saying that the Ultras are bad, but I would probably wear more of a shoe like this so it has really great grip, which again is a big difference compared to these more moccasin styles shoes, which again are fine, but depends what kind of terrain you're walking on and the distance. And so yeah, good grip on these, super good breathability. Yeah, nice and tight, easy to put on. And yeah, now this is kind of my go-to shoe. For colder weather, I have the high top trekkers from Vivo as well. And yeah, those are pretty much now at this point all the shoes I would wear that are minimalist or barefoot, and that's in the green season. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer anything and yeah, help you on your journey. Maybe you'll gradually transition. Maybe you'll just go full on all the way right away.